Hello friends, welcome to this session. I don't know why the paper didn't appeared on my app till 11:30 approx, and I started after that, and because I have classes lined up, so I have done it in real hurry. So there you might find some explanations to be really fast in this, but I can't help because I don't have the time. I don't know I would be able to do JEE Main test today or not. So here's the physics analysis for this paper. Now as per me, 4 were tough, 15 were easy, 26 were medium. This 26 question is always trouble. I still don't know how to answer this because the thought I do and the books do both differs. So I'm leaving it to you at your discretion, or just ask for your teachers, because teachers opinions vary in this from teacher to teacher. So I don't know what's the real answer for this, but all in all, it's a very nice paper. It's a very nicely balanced paper, and there are actually questions which require concepts which are very good. So you have 5-7 questions like that might trouble a normal student. So scoring very high won't be easy unless you have studied very hard. So again, going by my logic of that 15 and half, 15 plus 13, 28 questions again means that is, let's say 110, 15 would be a good score for a student who is hoping in something in physics, and those who are very good should get at least 150 still in this paper. So let's see. The largest wavelength in the UV region of the hydrogen spectrum is 122. So the largest wavelength in the UV region, okay. The smallest wavelength in the infrared region of the hydrogen spectrum closest to. Now the longest wavelength in the UV region, that means the Lyman's first line, that we can say that the formula that we use is 1 by lambda. So 1 upon 122 nanometer is R, 1 upon 1 square minus 1 upon 2 square. Now smallest wavelength in the infrared region of the hydrogen spectrum. So in the infrared region, you know, the light is the Paschen series. So what I can write 1 upon this lambda min, that will correspond to the series limit of that would be 1 by 3 square minus 1 by infinity. So what I do, I divide them. So lambda min over 122, this would be 3 by 4, this would be 1 by 9. So that comes out as 27 by 4. So lambda min is 27 by 4 into 122. So approximately 7 times 122. So it would be 122 into 7 times, it would be closest, I think, to 823. I can make it out, not 802. That would be not direct, or you can do complete calculation if you wish. Let's say, let me do it. This is 3, 0.5. So 27 5s are, 135. 27 3s are, as 81, and 1 823.5 nanometer. So I can go for option B carefully. Next one. If the electron in the hydrogen atom jumps from the third orbit to second, the wavelength of the emitted radiation. So it's again the third to the second. What would be 1 by lambda? 1 by lambda you say is R upon 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square, that is R. You will get 9 and 4, that is 5 over 36. So lambda is 36 over 5R. Go for option B here. So both are on the same concept, first two questions. If the force is applied to an elastic wire of material of Poisson's ratio 0.2, there is a decrease in the area by 1%. The percentage increase in its length is going to be. Now Poisson's ratio is 0.2 and the decrease of the cross-sectional area is 1%. Now Poisson's ratio you calculate as minus dr by r upon dl by l or delta l by l, whatever you can write. So what we can make it out, that dl by l would be, because it has decrease will become positive. So that is 1% upon 0.2, that comes out as 1 upon 0.2, that comes out as 5% in this particular case, or not 5%, let me do it. Dr by r would be half times that dA by A divided by sigma. So that is half into 1% upon 0.2. So it is 5 by 2, that is 2.5%. So percentage increase in its length is going to be 2.5%, not 5%. Be careful. A mass 3m initially at rest at the origin explodes into 3 fragments of same masses. 2 of the fragments have speed v and move perpendicular to each other. The third will move with, that's an easy one. Let's say first one goes in plus x, second one goes in y, the third one would be m into v3, and the total will be 0 because the cm will remain at rest because no external force acts. So directly you can do v3 is minus vi cap plus vj cap. So magnitude of v3 is going to be v by root 2, that is going to be root 2v. If you do, this is root 2v, go for option D, again the easy one. Next one. You have an object of 10 kg attached to roof by a string whirled around a horizontal circle of radii 4 meter inclined 30 degree to the vertical horizontal circle. That means it is a conical pendulum, that is what you call it. So it goes like this. This is 30 degrees. This is the radius is given as 4 meters. So what we have, tension, so this is T, this is mg. I can directly make it out, T cos of 30 degree is equal to mg. So T would be mg is 100, cos 30 you know is root 3 by 2, so 200 by root 3 Newton. So root 3, or you can write as 200 root 3 by 3, so that is 200 into 1.732 by 3, so it comes out as 173.2 into 2, 4, 6, 14, 346.4 by 3, so it would be closer to 114, not 125, so I can go for 114 Newton. That would be the closest one in this case. Next one. Two long straight conductors AOB, COD are perpendicular to each other and carry currents I1 and I2. Magnitude of the induction at a point P at a distance A from the point O in a direction perpendicular to the plane ABCD. Okay, so we can have like this. These are the two perpendicular wires. This is O. So let's say first one carrying current I1, second one let's say carrying current I2. Now what we have at a distance A from the point O in the direction perpendicular to the plane, so it would be perpendicular to the plane, let's say coming towards you can assume. So it would be better if I can draw these two. Let's say this is x-axis, this is y-axis, so I draw like this. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and let's say this is z-axis. So what we can say in drawing this wire I1, because it is taking in minus y, I can draw it like this I1, and this wire is like this is I2. And let's say you have a point like this at a distance A. So due to I1 if I calculate the field, it would be here. Due to I2, if I calculate the field, because it is going here, it would be coming upwards. So both would be perpendicular, so B would be under root of B1 square plus B2 square. That you can make it out. Now B1 plus B2, we know field is mu naught I upon 2 pi A, so mu naught upon 2 pi A is common, it would be under root of I1 square plus I2 square. Go for option C. Just visualize and solve. The length of a given cylindrical wire is increased by 100% due to the consequent decrease in diameter, the change in resistances. Because a consequent decrease of diameter, it is saying that means we will assume volume is constant, and in that case you know R is proportional to L square. So length is 100% and means doubled, so resistance will become 4 times mean it will be increased by 300%. Go for option D directly. Next. A millivoltmeter of 25 millivolt range is to be converted into an ammeter of 25 ampere range. The value of a necessary shunt will be, okay, so it has a 25 millivolt, that I can treat it as Ig into G is equal to 25 millivolt. Treat it as now treating it as a galvanometer, you can treat it like this. This is a galvanometer and we know this drop is 25 millivolts. Now what we have to do, we have to let's say add a shunt, because the ammeter range is to be increased, that I is we have to have 25 ampere. So what I can directly say, still the voltage is going to be 25, so 25 into this combo Gs upon G plus S, that would be equal to 25 millivolt, is still 25 into 10 to the power minus 3, you can directly say. So what we can have now, because we know shunt is going to be very small, I can typically say this Gs upon G plus S would be close to S. So S would be probably 10 to the power minus 3. It would be slightly differing from that, but given from the option it can't differ like that much, so I can directly go for 0.0001 in this particular case. Always remember, in parallel, if one is very large, one is very small, the resultant will be closer to that smaller one. Two identical charges of charge Q each are placed at minus a comma 0, a comma 0. Coordinates of the point where the net electric field is 0 and maximum. The electric field is 0 and maximum are, okay. So minus a comma 0 and a comma 0. So these are the two coordinates, and we have Q. So you can directly say field is 0 at the origin, that's the easy one. The electric field is 0 at the origin, so you are left with two choices, and it cannot be, the maximum cannot be at the origin, so there is only C. No need to solve it. If you wish, you can solve it. Best thing is to treat them like a ring, and ring has a maximum a field at R by root 2, so I can take R as A, so it would be at A by root 2. So again I can make it out at 0 comma A by root 2, but you could directly do that also. Options were not smartly designed. Charge Q is distributed uniformly on a ring of radius R. A sphere of equal radius R is constructed with its center at the periphery of the ring, okay. The electric flux through the surface of the sphere is, okay. So what is the electric flux through the surface of the sphere? That is basically the enclosed charge. You have to calculate how much charge is going to be enclosed by it. So here what you can do, because it is same radius and it is at the periphery, so I can say this distance is R, you know, and because this is also radius, this is also radius, you can make it out, this angle is 60, 60 and 60. So this angle is 60, you can directly say. So this arc which is inside that sphere, that will subtend an angle 60 and 60, that is 120. 120 means out of the what we can say, this angle would be, this angle is going to be 120 degree in this particular case. So total angle is 360, so it would be 1/3 of the total angle. So the flux will also be, enclosed charge is also 1/3, so flux would be 1/3. So this option was q by 3 epsilon naught. I can directly go for it. Next one, a 0.5 meter long metal rod PQ completes the circuit as shown in the figure. The area of the circuit is normal to the magnetic field of flux density. This, if the resistance of the total circuit is 3 ohm, okay, calculate the force needed to move the rod in the direction as indicated with a constant speed of 2 meter per second. So when it goes like this, we know the EMF will be induced, that is BVL, and the direction of EMF you can make it out would be like that. So EMF is BVL, B is 0.15, V is 2, length is 0.5, that is 0.15 volt. So the current that would be flowing is BVL by R, that is 0.15 by 3, or you can say 0.05 ampere, that you can write. This is 0.05 ampere. Now, so what would be the force acting on it? Force due to magnetic field is BIL, that is 0.15 into I, that is 0.05 into L is 0.5. So it is 15 into 15, that is 225. So 0.0225 into 15 into 5, it is not 7, it 15 into 5, so it is 15 5 is 75, so it is 0.0075 you can write into 0.5. So it would be, I can write 7.5 into 0.5 millinewton, so this would be 3.75 millinewton, that force, because the magnetic field force will try not to shift it, so you need to apply a force in the opposite direction of that force to keep it moving. Next one, in a series LCR circuit, the RMS voltage across inductor, capacitor are 4, 8 and 5. RMS value of the AC source, so you can directly say V of source would be VR square plus VC RMS minus VL RMS whole square, or VL minus VC RMS, whatever you can write. So it would be 5 square plus 8 minus 4, that is 4 square, so 5 square plus 4 square, that is under root of 41, under root of 41 would be 6 point something, so you go for 6.4 volts in this particular case. Next one, particle is projected vertically with speed v from the surface of the earth. Maximum height attained by the particle in terms of the earth radius r, v and g is, okay, so maximum height attained. So what we can say, the maximum height, the gain in potential energy you will write as U final minus GMM upon R plus H, minus minus become plus, GMM by R is loss in kinetic energy, which is half m v square. So what we have, this MMM goes, so what we have, take GM as common, it comes out as 1 by R minus 1 upon R plus H, it is equal to V square by 2. Now what we have, GM, what it would be H upon R into R plus H, that would be equal to V square by 2. I can write it as GM upon R square, and I can write it as H upon 1 plus H by R is equal to V square by 2. The GM by R square is G, so what I can write, G into H upon 1 plus H by R is equal to V square by 2. So what we are left with, H upon 1 plus H by R is equal to V square by 2G. So to do it now, so 2GH is equal to V square plus V square upon R into H. So H would be V square taking as upon, this would be 2G minus V square by R. So what we are left with, V square R upon 2GR minus V square, which is the option we are getting. Here there is an option, yes, option C you are getting. Next one, variation of acceleration due to gravity with distance x from the center of the earth. You know, initially it is proportional, finally it is inverse to 1 by R square. So this is a very easy question, D, just see and tick. The temperature across two different slab A and B are of the same length of same area. Length is same, area is same, are at a steady state. The ratio of thermal conductivity is, so just check it. What we have, the temperature across two different slabs. So this is, and now this is not rightly given. I can take it as 30 and 50. If I take, this is 30 change, and if I take it, this is change to be 20. So what I can say, this delta T, what we can have, this temperature drop, what we have across two different slab of same area at steady state. So the ratio of the thermal conductivity will be, so what we can have, this ratio, it's what we can say, directly I can say this is having a more drop, this is having a lesser drop. Lesser drop means it is more conducting, so conductivity of A is greater than conductivity of B, and assuming let's say they are in the series and H will be same, if H is same I can say Ka upon delta T by L will be same. So A is same, L is same, so delta T is inverse to K or K is inverse to T, so Ka upon Kb is inverse of that, that is 3 by 2. So I can say 2 Ka is equal to 3 by Kb, or Ka by Kb is 3:2, go for option B. An ideal gas expands such that Pt square is constant. The coefficient of volume expansion, again this is a repeated one. Coefficient of volume expansion, first of all, what is coefficient of volume expansion? You write it as 1 upon delta T into delta V by V, that is what you write, coefficient of volume expansion. So what Pt square is constant, so P into T square is constant, to P I can write as nRT by V into T square is constant, so what we have T cube is equal to some K times V constant. So what I can write, 3 times delta T by T for small changes is K times delta V by V. So what we have, this delta V by V, or 1 upon T into delta V by V is going to be proportional to 1 upon delta T upon delta V by V, sorry, that is going to be proportional to 3 by Tk, so it is proportional to 3 by T, go for option C in this particular case. Next one. The relation between internal energy, pressure and volume of a gas in an adiabatic process is this, where A and B are constant. What is the effective value of adiabatic constant? I think this is also repeated one. So what I can write, in adiabatic process du is equals to minus TV. So what I can write from here, du comes out as B times P dV plus V dP. So what I can have, minus P dV is B times P dV plus B times V dP. So what we are left with, we are take the dP and dV thing here. So it is P minus BP dV is equal to B times V into dP. Okay, so what we have, dV by V is equal to minus B dP upon P into 1 minus B. So if you do this integration, this is ln of V is minus ln of, what we can say, P to the power, what we can write it as B upon 1 minus B plus C. So what we have, this PV to the power gamma we need to write, so this is, or P to the power 1 by gamma into V you can write. So P to the power 1 by gamma into V, if I write, so this 1 by gamma is equal to B upon 1 minus B, and 1 minus B, yes, it is not 1 minus B, it is negative here and it would be positive here, so it would be positive. I have done a mistake, so it would be like this, B upon 1 plus B, so gamma is B plus B 1 upon B, so go for option B here. Next one. A proton, a deuteron and an alpha particle are projected normal to the direction of a uniform magnetic field with same kinetic energy. The ratio of the radii is, so they have projected perpendicular direction with same kinetic energy. So R is, you know, is mv you write as root 2 mk by qb. So if kinetic energy is same, R is proportional to root m by q. So for the proton this ratio is root 1 is to 1, for deuteron it is root 2 is to 1, for alpha it is root 4 by 2. So what we are left with, this will be same, so that means proton and alpha will be same and deuteron is root 2 times, so go for option A in this particular case. So A is the answer. Next one. Electric charge Q is uniformly distributed over a rod of length L. The rod is placed parallel to a long wire carrying a current I. Separation between them be A. Find the force needed to move the rod along its length with a uniform velocity V. So we have to move the rod and we have a long wire carrying current I and the separation is A and they are parallel. Okay, so first of all, at this point the magnetic field due to the wire would be mu naught I upon 2 pi A. So in this magnetic field, if this charge is moving with a velocity V, so it will constitute a current, and that current, you know, is a you can write it as I is dq by dt. So what we can write it as a charge q. So this charge q is moving with a better treated I as dq by dt. So you can write it as dq upon dl into let's say dt is distance upon speed, so dl by v. So dq by dl, that is lambda, you can write, or you can write dq by dl is q by what we have, q by l into v we can write. So what we now write, force is BIL, B is mu naught I upon 2 pi A, and this I would be, you can write it as q by L into V into let's say BIL, that L will go. So what we will have as mu naught I QV upon 2 pi A. That is what we are having. This is option A. So that you can write it like this. Now, an object moving with a speed of 6.25 meter per second is deaccelerated by a rate given by dv by dt is this, where v is the instantaneous speed. The time taken by the object to come to rest is. So what we can say, dv upon root v is minus 2.5 dt. Take this integration from 0 to t. This is from 6.25 to 0. So solving this would be root v, that is 2 root v, from 6.25 to 0, that is minus 2.5 t. So this minus will cancel up. Minus 2 root 6.25 you can write as minus 2.5 t. Minus minus goes. Root of 6.25 you know is equal to 2.5. So t directly comes out as 2 seconds. No doubt about it. Next one. Body thrown up with speed u at an angle of projection theta. If the speed of the projectile becomes u by root 2 on reaching the maximum height, that clearly means theta is equal to 45 degree. Then the maximum height reached. So maximum height reached would be uy square by 2g, and uy you know is again u by root 2 whole square by 2g, that would be equal to u square by 4g. Go for option. Now next one. Block of mass m is placed on a smooth wedge of inclination theta. The whole system is accelerated horizontally so that the block doesn't slip. The force exerted by the wedge on the block. Okay, so whole system is accelerated so that the block doesn't slip. That means you know if this is accelerated by a naught in the frame of this, it is at rest. So this pseudo force ma naught I am applying when viewing from its frame, and this is mg. So what we can make it out, if this angle is theta, first thing you know is ma naught cos theta acting up the incline is equal to mg sin theta. And what we have, so a naught comes out as g tan theta, that you all remember. Now the normal would be mg cos theta plus ma naught sin of theta. And what I can write this, mg cos of theta plus ma naught is g tan theta. So it becomes sin square theta by cos theta. So mg taking common, it is cos square plus sin square would be 1 upon cos theta. So we'll go for option A in this case. N is mg by cos theta. You can do. Next, you have a pendulum bob of mass 50 grams suspended from the ceiling of an elevator. The tension if the elevator goes up with uniform velocity. Uniform velocity means acceleration is 0. So t should be equal to mg in this case, that is 50 gram. So 50 into 10 raised to power minus 3 into 10. That is 5 into 10 raised to power minus 1, that is 0.5 Newton. Go for option D. Next one. When lithium are bombarded by protons and the resultant are beryllium 48, the emitted particles will be, so what we can have, 7 lithium striked with proton, I can write it as 1H1, we get beryllium 48. So first of all, this total is match. This total is matched, so it cannot be electron, it cannot be proton, it cannot be neutron, it can only be gamma photons in this particular case. So option C could be the possible answer, because we have all numbers automatically matched before that particle. In a photo experiment, both the intensity and frequency are doubled, and the saturation photoelectric current, we know intensity, the saturation current depends only on intensity, so it would be doubled, it won't be 4 times, it will be doubled only. Next one. The function sin square omega t represents. Sin square omega t we know is a periodic function with half the period, which is equal to pi by omega. So it's a periodic function with a simple periodic with a period pi by. Now this is always debatable whether it is SHM or not, because most of the time we teach our student that if the function is like this, x is equal to a sin square omega t, simply we say this is SHM. This is going to be SHM. Why it is going to be SHM? We simply say because if you do this, this would be a 1 minus cos of 2 omega t by 2, and we can write it as x minus a by 2 is minus a by 2 cos 2 omega t. So it would be SHM, but not about x, x equal to 0, it is about x equal to a by 2. Okay, so I generally treat it to be a SHM with a period pi by omega, but most of the time I have seen in books they go for not SHM. So NT has gone for D, and I personally feel it could be B, so I don't know what to give, so nothing, no comments from my side, I'll go for B. Next, particle executes a SHM has a period of 6. If time taken by the particle to go from mean to half the amplitude starting from the mean position will be, so simply I teach it in terms of angle. Let's say mean position, it is when theta is equal to 0, and a by 2 first of the time when theta is 30 degree, and because angular speed omega you can treat equivalently constant, so this time would be equal to t by 12. T by 12 means it would be 1 by 2 seconds. You can directly go for. Next, metal surface of work function 1.07 is irradiated with a light of 332. The retarding potential required. So directly first of all K max would be 1240 over 332 minus 1.07. So 332 if I go, it would be 3 point something. I got right 332, it would be 996. So you are left with 244 2440. So I think it would be 7 times. So that much is enough. 3.7, so approximately 2.63 I can write. So it would be 2.66 EV is the stopping potential, is the K max. So stopping potential should be this volt, not EV. Unit is wrong mentioned. Next, when radiation is incident on a photoelectron emitter, the stopping potential is 9. If E by m for the electron is this, the maximum velocity is, that means stopping potential is given. So K max is 9 EV, that is half mv square. So V max square you can write. So V max would be root 2 into 9, and E by m is given as 1.8 into 10 raised to power 11. So it is 9 2s are 18 into 1.8, so 18 into 18 I can write, and that is 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Go for option D here. Next one, length of elastic string obeying Hooke's law is L1 meters when tension is 4, L2 when it is 5, the length when it becomes 9 is. So again it's a very standard profile you must have seen. So what is L1? So L1 is L0 plus delta L1, where delta L1 you can write it as FL upon AY, that is 4 L0 upon A into Y. Similarly L2 is what you can write L0 plus delta L2, where delta L2 you can write it as 5 L0 upon AY. Okay, so this is how you can write this thing. So what we have this is what you write L1 minus L0, you can write it as L2 minus L0. So what we are left with, this is the combo we are getting. Now what is delta L3? Delta L3 in similar case would be 9 L0 upon AY, and the length in L3 you are searching for is L0 plus 9 L0 upon AY. So if I do it from this logic, so to get this, how you can try it? Let's say try it 5 minus 4 times. So 5L1 if I write, it would be 5L0 plus this much and minus 4L0. So L0 would be there, and it would be 5 4s are 20, and 20 minus 20, so that will be cancel out, so it won't be possible. So 5L2, if I do that 5L2, it would be again 5 5s are 25, 25 minus 4, that is 16, that will happen. So it would be 5L2 minus 4L1. You can try it, the combination you can go for. This is option B, that is going to be the answer. Next one, typical silt particle, that is the mud particle of radius 20 micrometer on the top of lake water density and viscosity of lake water density. This, if the lake is still, the terminal speed with which they will hit the bottom. So the terminal speed, you know, 2 by 9 r square rho of body minus rho of fluid into g upon neta. So put up r square 20 means 40 into 10 to the power minus 12, rho b minus rho f is 10 to the power 3, g let's say be t. This neta, where is the neta? There is 1 millipascal. Okay, so it is 10 to the power minus 3. So what we are with, 10 3 6 7 8, 10 to the power minus 4 is left. This is 8 by 9, I think, like this. So 8 by 9 into 10 to the power minus 4. Is anything that I have missed? I don't think I have missed. This is 8 by 9 into 10 to the power minus 4. I can go for easily. Let me check again if there's some issue. 28 is 400. Okay, so 1 power I have missed. So it is 10 to the power minus 3 into 8 by 9. So in millimeter per second it is 8 by 9. 8 by 9 is what we can write it as 9 7s are 63, 9 8s are 72. It would be 0.87. You can go for option C. So it is 0.87 millimeter per second. You can go for. Next one, point source of light at a distance of 15 from the convex lens. Focal length of lens diameter. The screen is placed on the other side perpendicular to the axis at a distance 20 from it. Then find the area of the illuminated part of the screen. Okay, so we have to do first of all the equation 1 by v, because lens means minus, we will take minus 1 by u is minus what it is, minus 15, that is 1 by f, which is minus plus 1 by 10. Convex lens was there. So 1 by 10 it will become minus 1 by 15. So what we have, the LCM as 30. This would be 1. so V is 30 centimeters. So if I draw this using basic geometry logic, it would be something like this. Let me draw more properly. So let's say this is at a distance of 15 and finally it would be at 30. So if I draw all the rays, it will be like this. They would have converged like this at 30 point. Now but the screen is placed here, so that part of the screen will be illuminated. Now how to calculate that part? You can directly go by the symmetry that you have. This diameter is 3, so you can write this as 3 by 2 and this is what you have as 30. So and this one is what we have 10. So if this is 1/3, this would be 1/3 also, this would be only 1 by 2. So 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So what we have, this is 1 by 2 radius, you can make it out. So that area would be pi into r square, pi into 1 by 4, you can make out pi by 4 centimeter square. Go for option A, very nicely asked question. It's a really good question. The refractive index of the prism is this, then the angle of minimum deviation in terms of angle of prism. So what we can write, we write mu is equal to sine of delta min plus a by 2 upon sine of a by 2 that you used to write. Now cot a by 2 is cos of a by 2 over sine of a by 2, that is sine of delta min plus a by 2 upon sine of a by 2, both goes. So sine is equal to cos, that means what we can say, this should be 90 minus theta. So a by 2 should be equal to that 90 plus theta, you can say 90 plus, or you can say this is 90 plus, I can write this is what we can have, or you can write as, or you can say the total is 90, that would be the better thing. A by 2 plus delta minimum plus a by 2 would be equal to pi by 2. So what we have, delta min by 2 plus a is equal to pi by 2. So delta min is equal to 2 times of pi by 2 minus a, that is pi minus 2a. So go for option D. In this particular case, it would be pi minus 2a. Next one. Three equal masses rigidly connected to each other by massless rods of length L forming an equilateral triangle. The assembly is to be given an angular velocity omega about an axis normal to the triangle. For fixed omega, what is the ratio of kinetic energy of the assembly for an axis through B to an axis through A? Okay, to B through A, fixed angular speed. So first of all, what we can make it out, A would be what A is given basically. About A, the each will be at this distance, and this distance you know is equal to L by root 3. How you find out? It is 2/3 of this length root 3 L by 2. So that basically comes out as L by root 3. So I about A would be, if I do this, this is ml square by 3 and multiplied by 3, that will come out as ml square for everyone. And about B, if I do B, this mass is 0, that is at L, that is at L, so I can directly say that is 2 ml square. Now kinetic energy is half I omega square, so for same omega, K is proportional to I, so that KB by K would be 2:1. Go for option B, directly you can do. Next one, you have a solid cylinder 20 kg, rotate about its axis with the angular speed this. Cylinder radius is given. What is the magnitude of angular momentum about its axis? So what we can make it out, angular momentum is directly, you write it as I omega. I is what we have, solid cylinder, so it is mr square by 2 into omega 20 into r square, that is 1 by 16, 1 by 4 square by 2 into 100. So it is 20 by 32 into 100. So what we are left with, this is 5, this is 8, 500 by 8 you can write. So 500 by 8 would be, I think would be 662.5, that is the most appropriate one you can go for. Next one. Input resistance of a CE transistor amplifier is this. Load resistance is this. The change of base of 15 changes the collector by 1, the voltage gain. So this data gives you beta. Beta is 1, that is 1 milliampere. This is 15 into 10 to the power minus 3 milliampere. I can write, so that is 1000 by 15. This is the first thing. And this voltage gain is minus beta RC by RB. So this is minus 1000 by 15, RC is 5000, this is 330. So this 0 and 0 goes. So this what you are left with now, 15 if I do, this is 3 and this would be 100. So it is minus 10 to the power 5 upon 33, that is 99. So it would be slightly greater than 1000, slightly greater than 1000. So it would be 1010. I can go for, it would be greater than that, so 1010 would be the answer. Next one. When the forward bias voltage of a diode is changed from 0.6 to 0.7, current changes from 5 to 15, then resistance you know is delta V by delta I. So 0.1 and this changes by 10 into 10 to the power minus 3. So it is 100 by 10, that is 10 ohms is the forward bias resistance here. Next, the coefficient of apparent expansion of mercury in a glass vessel is this. Okay, apparent expansion, wait a minute, where it goes, yeah, of apparent expansion is this, and in a steel vessel is this. If linear coefficient alpha for steel is this, then that for glass is. So again I am getting this question is troubling every time me, because for me gamma apparent is real gamma minus gamma of the container, and they are using every time as the opposite formula. I don't know why they are using like that. Oh, they have used the same here. Okay, so gamma apparent is this. So what we have, 153 into 10 raised to power minus 6 is gamma of the liquid. Actual gamma, container gamma is what we can have, container in glass. So let's say 3 alpha, and we have 144 into 10 to the power minus 6 is again gamma L minus 3 into 12 into 10 to the power minus 6. So what should you do? You should subtract. So if I subtract, then 159 into 10 raised to power minus 6 would be 36 minus 3 alpha. This power goes 10 to the power minus 6. I can take it out, assuming alpha will be in 10 to the power minus 6. So alpha will come out as 36 minus 9, 27 by 3, that is 9 into 10 to the power minus 6. So go for option A here. So there they have given the right one. Next, in a particular system, the unit of length, mass and time are chosen to be 10, 10, 10, and this unit of force will be equivalent to what we know F is mLT minus 2, that is the dimension. So what is m here? So m here would be 10 centimeter, length would be 10 grams, and it would be 1 upon 0.1 to the power minus 2. So it would be 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg, sorry, not kg, this is, you can write 0.1 meters, this will become 10 to the power minus 2 kg, and this becomes 10 to the power, what we can say, it would be 10 to the power minus 2, I can make it out, okay, because it is 0.1, so 1 upon 0.1, this would be plus 2, I have written it wrong, it would be plus 2, so it would be 10 to the power plus 2. So this goes, this would be 0.1 Newton in the SI unit, so 1 by 10 Newton, you can go for option A. Two light waves having the same wavelength in vacuum are in phase initially. Then the first ray travels a length L1 through a medium mu1, while the second ray travels L2 through a medium mu2. The two waves then combine to form interference. The phase difference would be, so effective length traveled by first one is mu1 L1, by second is mu2 L2. So that is the path difference, that multiplied by 2 pi by lambda, that we can directly go for. So in this case you are left with this choice, which is the option D, that is right. So we just calculated this with respect to vacuum, so we can use that lambda of vacuum. Next one, in a YDAC experiment, two slits are illuminated by light of 5890 and the angular distance between the fringes obtained on the screen is 0.2. If the whole apparatus is immersed in water, then angular fringe width is, we know that angular fringe width is proportional to lambda. When immersed in water, lambda will decrease, lambda will become lambda upon 4 by 3, that is 3/4, so that will also become 3/4, so 3/4 into 0.2 degree, that is 0.15 degree. Again this is a repeated question, I suppose. Next one, equation of SHM is given by this. Okay, this is actually equation of wave. The phase difference between two particles 2 mm apart. So with respect to delta x, you always write delta phi is equal to k delta x. So what is k here? 2 pi into 0.1, that you can write as 0.2 pi, and delta x is 2 mm, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. So what we are left with, 0.4 into, okay, they are already in mm, so need not to write this 10 to the power minus 3, it is already incorporated in the question. So this is like this, so it would be, now this 0.4 pi, that is 0.4 into 180, so 18 4s are 72 degree, go for option D. Now the third last, it takes 2 seconds for a sound wave to travel between two fixed points when the temperature is 10. If the temperature rises to 30, the sound wave travels between the same fixed point parts, and definitely it will travel in some slight lesser time, because v is proportional to root t, so velocity will increase, so time will decrease, and it will decrease, so there is only one option I can go for, 1.9, no need to solve it. Next one, two bodies of masses m1 and m2 are infinitely at rest at an infinite distance apart. They are allowed to move towards each other, and the mutual gravitational force, the relative velocity of approach, you know, the Cm will remain at rest, so all the gain would be in k dash, so k dash would be equal to delta u loss. So what I can write directly, half mu V relative square, that is K in C frame, delta U loss, because initially it was 0, so U initial minus U final, minus finally will become plus, so G M1 M2 by whatever be the separation. Now this mu is M1 M2 over M1 plus M2 into V relative square equal to G M1 M2 by R. So what we can do, we can cancel up, so V relative directly comes out as root 2 G M1 plus M2 by R, which is the option A you can directly go for. So remember this C frame, this is used in many questions now. Ball is released from top of the tower, the ratio of the work done by the force of gravity in first, second and third is, we know the work done is F into S, and you know when it starts from rest, so distance travelled in first to distance travelled in second to distance travelled in third, that is in the ratio 2n minus 1, that is 1:3:5, so work done ratio will also be in the ratio 1:3:5, go for option C. So that was today's paper. Because the paper on my app came very late and I have my classes lined up, so it has to be hurried from me. I'm really sorry for that.